Hi everybody, this is a video about melatonin. Someone sent me this question, and so I'm going to read excerpts from it. So the person writing the question says that their naturopathic doctor recommends melatonin recommended melatonin for the patient's sleep issues, and they so clearly her naturopathic doctor is in favor of using melatonin, she's saying. However, she says there's another ND, another naturopathic doctor that says melatonin should not be taken on a regular basis, rather on and off as the body gets used to it. And then she's saying yet another says NP, so that might be a nurse practitioner, or it may be a typo for ND, I don't know, but another clinician says that melatonin is totally bad for the body. So she goes on to say that she has total faith in her naturopathic doctor and is not questioning her, but is just wondering what my thoughts are about sort of some of this conflicting information. So it's a very good question. As per usual, nothing that I'm saying should be construed as medical advice. This is for informational purposes only. If you need medical advice, please talk to your healthcare provider to obtain that medical advice. Melatonin, I find, is a very it's a very interesting topic. Melatonin itself is fascinating. Just as a point of interest, to my understanding, every living creature or every living thing on Earth, plant kingdom, bugs, humans, mammals, any living creature, any living entity has melatonin within it. Melatonin is something that's been around since we were just all in the primordial goo, and it's a molecule that has largely remained unchanged over those trillions and trillions of years. And when Mother Nature doesn't change a molecule for trillions of years, it basically means that it is perfect, because evolution has not sought to change it in some way to make it better. So just that alone, I think, is fascinating. But when you actually look at all the functions of melatonin, it's an antioxidant, it's important for mitochondrial function, obviously important for sleep, as in the context of this question. It's just fascinating stuff. So anyways, I could go on and on about it, but I've already gone on about it enough, so I'll restrain myself. So with melatonin, it's also an interesting topic because there are a lot of opinions out there about melatonin, and to my understanding and in my opinion, not all of those opinions are founded on what the research evidence says. Now, research evidence, i.e. from the scientific literature, super useful and important, not infallible. There's obviously flaws with study designs, there's researcher bias, there's all these different things, but it's generally a valuable source of information. But then clinical experience is also important and valuable, in my opinion, as well. So when we kind of take those information from those two camps, shall we say, the truth lies maybe somewhere in the middle, I suppose. So my personal opinion on melatonin is that it's a wonderful supplement. I prescribe it all the time. I have not seen a habit-forming issue with melatonin. I have not seen people kind of get hooked on it and then they can't come off it. They try to come off and their sleep, they can't sleep without it anymore, so I haven't seen that happen. I have a couple of patients over the years, and this is out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I'm sure I've probably prescribed melatonin to probably over 2,000 patients to date. I've prescribed it a lot. And I've had a couple of patients who have found that if they take it really regularly, it seems to stop working, and then they need to stop taking it for a bit, and then it starts working again. So that, in my experience, is very, very rare, but I have seen it a couple of times. The idea that melatonin is bad to take, I disagree with that. I haven't seen any clinical or research evidence to suggest that it is a bad thing to take. Now, we do have to be a bit careful with melatonin. If we take too much of it too quickly, we can feel drowsy the next day. And also, I have seen some patients have major, major flare-ups from taking melatonin, and I think it's largely because it stimulates detoxification processes in the brain. Specifically, to my understanding, it's involved in the function of the glymphatic system, which is the lymphatic system of the brain. And so in some cases, I've seen some very clear detox-related reactions from the central nervous system. And then I've also seen in some patients, if they have a lot of neuroinflammation, then I believe that melatonin will get metabolized into this neurotoxic byproduct called quinolinic acid, which can cause a lot of additional neuroinflammation and sometimes psychiatric issues like anxiety or insomnia, or basically have kind of this paradoxical effect from melatonin. Should be nice and lovely and soothing and sleep promoting, and it can kind of have the opposite impact. So I have seen that, but it's quite rare. Even in folks who have a lot of symptoms of neuroinflammation, oftentimes melatonin is really well tolerated. So generally speaking, I found that it's very well tolerated, can be very, very helpful for sleep, mostly for sleep onset, but it can help with sleep maintenance issues as well. And I just love it. It's a wonderful, wonderful supplement, and it's one of my favorites. So thank you for the question. I hope that this answers your question. If you have any, you or if anybody else has any additional questions about melatonin or any other topic, just post in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer as soon as I can.